Shalom, shalom. I'm back. Something I was thinking about, the spirit jumped on me. I have to clarify something. I said something at the end about children, according to Ephesians. So I'm going to read a few scriptures. Now, it's not children. Let me go back on, they weren't stoning children, because it just hit me for a minute to think about this, because I don't want no one to get the wrong viewpoint of that. It wasn't children, but children grow up. We become teenagers. We become adults. So let me read some scriptures that solidify what was going on back then. One scripture is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 9. And let's see what it says. And we're also going to go into Deuteronomy to get a better understanding of this. Salakion, if I said something towards children, that's not what I meant. So let me go ahead and fix that so I can explain it more. This is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 9. And listen to what it says. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He that cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. So what does this mean? Now we know that we're children and we know that we grow up. Say you're 12, 13 and above that. What could happen to a child that didn't do what was right? Listen what it says. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. That's when you're an adult, teenager. Children-wise, probably not, because children have to grow. You'd probably get a whooping like normally we would get, even back then. So Salakia on that. They were not stoning children, but they were stoning adults, or probably teenagers at a point that were unruly, or you're 21, 22 or whatever, going into adulthood, you probably catch a beating, but not children. So Salaki on that. That's why I came back in, the spirit jumped on me to let you understand that. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 18, and let's see what that says. And it says this. That's Deuteronomy 21 verse 18 and so on. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, in other words, disciplined him, will not hearken unto them, well, if he doesn't listen, verse 19, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out until the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. Take him out. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Now, when you get to that point, that you're a glutton and a drunkard, you're above the age, whatever the age is when they could drink. He was doing too much. He wouldn't listen, but apparently he was in the house. It's not children. He was old enough to understand right from wrong. A glutton and a drunk. So at our time, the time we live in, what is that, 21? I can't say back then when they were able to drink and whatever they were doing. I don't know what the age group was. But that's just to make you understand. In our age, what is that, 21, 22? So we'll just say around that age, just for argument's sake. Look what happened. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So when we go back to Ephesians that I was reading earlier, and I think that's Ephesians, what is it, 20? Let me go back to it real quick. Let's go back to Ephesians. This is just to clarify up what was said earlier. That's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 3. That it may be well with thee, and thou may live long on the earth. So this scripture, as I said earlier, Salakia, forgive me, because I didn't mean children. What I meant was teenagers or above. that didn't listen back then, what had happened? They got stoned, as you've seen. They can get taken care of, and at that time, as we see according to Leviticus and Deuteronomy, that goes into this. So we want to honor our fathers and our mothers. I honor my father and my mother now, and believe me, they're not even, in this faith that I'm in. Regardless, I still honor them. I don't, you know, disrespect them in any way, regardless about their religious beliefs and whatnot. So when I go back to children, according to the first part, when it says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with the promise. We'll stick with that one for the children because it says children at the beginning. Now, if you're older than a child and you start going off with your parents, this is what he was talking about, that it may be well with thee and thou mayest live long on the earth. Why would he say that? Because the older we get, you think you grown and you start mouthing off. Back then, this is what happened to them, according to Leviticus and according to Deuteronomy. So I just hope that was edifying. Salakia on the first part when I said children. I hope I didn't scare anybody's kids, because that wasn't what I was trying to do or anything of the fact. So I had to come back and clarify that. Well, Shalom.